I seem to be having a very blessed day, and I'm having a mini day in the life of a former governor, a former minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm on a flight with him, and I'm going to just ask him a lot of different questions within the little time we have left of this flight, and he has obliged me. So, guys, just sit back and relax. Hello, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing very well. My name is Suleiman Aneru. Professionally, I'm an engineer, but I like to consider myself as a man of many talents. So I write, create YouTube videos that promote the stories of various people, and now I'm honored to have met you. So I'll do a detailed voiceover about our counter, but now that we have a short time, I want to say it's a pleasure to meet you first and foremost. Thank you for obliging me.
You're welcome anytime.
Okay. So I woke up and I saw that you were reading, and I decided to ask you, what do you read, sir?
I read a lot. Typically, I read about 4 books at a time, mostly non-fiction, biographies, history, memoirs, books on political economy, and so on. That's what I read most of the time. Sometimes I read fiction, and um, just last week I took the decision that I want to reread all my favorite fiction stories of the 70s and 80s. So I bought virtually all books written by Harold Robbins, Abby Wallace, Jonathan Black, um, James Michener, Arthur Haley, Nick Carter, James Hadley Chase. I got all of them on my Kindle, and I've started reading them. Yeah, and Valley of the Dolls. What's her name? Jacqueline Susan. Those were the books that kept me entertained when I was in secondary school and in university and after. So I decided that I was going to read them now that I have some free time in between my studies for my PhD. So I read a lot. I read much more than I watch TV or movies or anything. I enjoy reading.
Interesting. So I would have asked you what the motivation to read was for you, but you already said something that you enjoy reading. So I'll skip that question, or you still want to add some more?
No. I just enjoy reading. Reading for me is a way of traveling, uh, using your imagination. Whatever you read, you think about it. It's, it's also a way of continuously educating yourself, learning from the experiences and mistakes of others. So yeah, I love reading. I don't even think about it as something you do. I see it more like a hobby, something that I do out of sheer enjoyment.
Wow. Okay. I typically ask a lot of diverse questions, and there's a popularity you have generated across Nigeria. And yes, a lot of people see you in different lights. So I'm wondering, this may be the only opportunity I ever have to see you. So it is important for me to ask you some tough questions. So one of the very interesting things I have read about you is that some people believe that you are a religious fanatic. Have you ever heard some of those or read some of those things, especially
I
on
have.
Twitter?
I have.
Okay, so I don't believe you are, but it is not in my place to speak for you. Not that I'm a chill
I don't.
person.
I don't care what people that don't know me think of me.
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable in my skin. I know who I am. I know what I am. And those that know me, those that have worked with me or have lived with me or interacted with me, are in the better position to say what I am, not those that have never met me. And frankly, I don't give a damn what people that don't matter in my life think about. Those that matter in my life are my friends, my family, my colleagues that I work with. Not everybody that is a Nigerian who feels entitled to have an opinion about me, even though he or she, you know, doesn't know me, never met me, and so on and so forth. Everyone is entitled to his own opinion, but I'm entitled to be myself, and I know what I want. So I'm cool. I don't even respond to that.
Thank you very much. You are a man who have been known during the days of your FCT ministership, and you are considered like as a tough person who make tough decisions. So, what are the qualities that you have garnered over the years that has made you successful in leadership? And for young people who will watch this anytime in the future, what qualities should they imbibe if they want to go far in life?
There are a few basic principles about being a human being that is rooted in our culture, in our religion, in our values as a people. And I think that those are really the foundations of any leadership. You know, honesty with yourself, honesty with others, fairness, and humility, and you know, loving for your brother what you love for yourself. And I believe that if in your interactions with people day to day you observe these basic principles, you will be able to lead others very well. Uh, but having said that, every individual has his journey, has his strengths and weaknesses. We can't all be the same. Some of us are driven by the fact that Nigeria is a country of so much talent, so much in terms of natural endowments and resources, yet we are not doing as well as we should. And the main reason why Nigeria is not doing well is because our governments have not functioned very well. Government is needed to work well for the private sector to thrive, for society to thrive. And when I found myself in public service, I committed to myself that I will give it my best shot. I'll do my best. I will take whatever decision is needed to make Nigeria move forward, even if it is risky, even if it is painful, because there is no gain without some pain. And this is the trajectory of every society that we have studied. Every country that has developed had to make some sacrifice and endure some pain before getting to that promised land. So that's essentially the principles that have guided my public service and my life generally, and my interaction with people. And nothing more. There is no silver bullet. There are no 1, 2, 3 things that you do to get this right. Because everyone, as I said, has his journey.
Good. Okay, so as we kept talking, more questions kept coming to my head.
Well, you have 15 minutes before we.
Well, I'll try to make the best of it. You have occupied a number of offices of significance in Nigeria. I just asked about the FCT ministership. Now, let me ask about the governorship. So, what was it what you expected before you became a governor, and what were the challenges you saw that could not allow you to maybe do all of the things you would have wanted to do as a governor? And now that you have left governorship, what do you look back to and say, okay, El-Rufai could have done this extra?
Well, look, I was governor for 8 years. You can't summarize 8 years in 8 minutes. So I'll not even go into that. And you never go to school to learn to be a governor. So I didn't go in with any expectations of what a governorship should be or should not be. I've been a governor before. I was more or less governor of FCT. So I'm almost the same job. But what I found as governor of Kaduna is that it is quite different from being minister of FCT. Uh, as usual, as with every person in a leadership position, uh, whatever I was not able to do, I believe I was not able to do because of resource constraints. Sometimes you don't have money, as much money as you need. Sometimes you don't have the skills and the expertise to be able to deliver on some complex projects. So that's normal. But were there things I wanted to do that I couldn't do? Of course. I had an 88-point manifesto. All the things I wanted to do, were able to do more than 80 of them, which is quite an achievement in my view. But you can't do everything. And government is continuous. You just do your bit and leave the stage for others to come and build on it. As to the details of your question, I'm writing a book where I'll document everything in great detail. So people should look forward to the book. I hope to have it published in 2025 by the grace of
Inshallah.
God.
Okay, so more questions are still coming, and um, I hope to make the best of it. So, as a human being and as someone who has been a leader, we we all know that we are not guaranteed forever. So, someone would probably watch this in 10 years' time, and you pray that Allah makes you remain here till that time and beyond, but only Allah knows the date. So, but when you are no longer here, what would you like to be remembered for? What legacy would you want to? Someone says El-Rufai. What is it that you would want, at least people who are unbiased, who are objective, to remember you for?
I don't know. I think that's up to the people to decide. I've been in public life in and out for the last 25 years, um, and I intend to remain in public life as long as I live. But I think when you talk about legacy, it's up to the people to decide. I'm the Director General of the Bureau of Public Enterprises, Minister of FCT, and Governor of Kaduna State. And there is enough out there for people to make up their minds as to what is my legacy. But it's not up to me. It's up to posterity to judge. And I do hope that when people judge, they will bear in mind that some of us got into public service as a choice. We didn't go into public service because we needed a job or a pay to make money, and that is why I am very proud to say that nobody, nobody can accuse me of embezzling public funds or engage in any corruption all my years in public service. Because that was never my motivation. We went in there because we felt we had value to add and we can make our country better by contributing in small bits to any assignment given to us. And that's it. But posterity will judge.
I'm smiling. When you were responding to one of the questions I asked you earlier, you said something about Nigeria having a lot of resources, but it has not translated into as much value for its people. Um, you have been in government. You have worked with former President Olusegun Obasanjo, who is on this flight,
Yes.
who I have interacted with as well. You've worked with the who is who of Nigeria, and you are in the circle of the people of who they consider who is who. And I'm sitting next to you now, and you sounded like you were complaining that Nigeria, like the way I would. So if someone like you is also of the same opinion as most of us, then what is the hope for a better future for Nigeria?
Um, I can complain because in the roles that I have had the privilege of playing in the public service, you can go and check. Everywhere I served, I did my best as honestly as I could. I worked my butt off to make sure that that small part of Nigeria gets better. There is absolutely no doubt in my mind that I've tried my best. Now, one person alone doing his bit is not enough. All of us must do our bit for the country to move forward. The problem is most of those that complain are only good at complaining. They are not willing to sacrifice, get their hands dirty, postpone instant gratification so that Nigeria will get better. I can claim that I have done that. I have made my contribution, and the contributions are there. They are evident in Kaduna, they are evident in Abuja, and they are evident in the Nigerian economy when I was in charge of the Bureau of Public Enterprises and Privatization. So all I am saying is I have done my bit. Along the lines, I have worked with many people that have contributed. President Obasanjo was my first boss, and he has done a lot. But I also know many presidents that did not do as much. I know many ministers, colleagues of mine, that did not do as much. But I also know many Nigerians that have refused to understand, have refused to contribute, but they are always sitting complaining, expecting that they will have a good life by criticizing instead of coming in to contribute. I feel I have done my bit. I have paid my dues to Nigeria. The scholarship I got to get a university education, I think I've paid back. But I want to ask every Nigerian: do you think you have given back to Nigeria what Nigeria gave to you, or do you think Nigeria gave you nothing? If you think Nigeria gave you nothing, have you thought of other alternatives? What if you were born in South Africa under apartheid? What if you were born in Syria, okay, under Bashar al-Assad? What if you are in Sudan? So, in spite of what we say about Nigeria, comparatively speaking, Nigeria gave you something. So, what have you given in return as a citizen? That is my question. So, it's not about complaining, it's about saying that there aren't enough people committed to loving Nigeria and making it make progress across the country, whether in public service or in the private sector. There aren't enough of such people, and we need more. We need many more. But I feel I have done my bit, and I can retire in peace, knowing that I have given back to my country more than the scholarship that I got to get a university degree.
Okay, so talking about giving back to your country, some time ago I saw a video of you and current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu when he said, I think it was during the electionary period, and he was saying that El-Rufai must work for him, and he said something about, I can't remember the exact words, but I'm trying to paraphrase. He said something like you were done or something like that, and in that same video he was like, El-Rufai must come to the podium or so. They raised your hand. I think the crowd were cheering to say you must agree you would work for the president. Then I think in the video I was watching, there was now like another incident of a similar occurrence, and it was funny for me. And you were touted as someone who the president believes in his capacity. And so, two questions. The first being, why were you initially saying you were not willing to contribute your bit any further? Because I think you were saying something like there are a lot of young people. So my question.
You've answered your question. I feel that at the age of 63, I should be a counselor. I should be advising and guiding young people
Okay, so but I
to
don't.
do this job, but not.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, and from the little I've learned from people over the years, that age is not should not be a factor for
But it
who
is.
has capacity to
But
deliver.
it is. It is. Age has many advantages. Age means experience. Age means wisdom. Okay, but um, age also means limited energy. Okay, so you can't discount age and say that it doesn't matter. Um, so age matters. There are positives of age, there are negatives. The positives, of course, are experience, wisdom, restraint, and so on. But the negatives are energy. Um, and sometimes the capacity to innovate, the capacity to adopt new things and new technologies. With age, you are unable to do that. It's just the reality. So I believe that in a country like Nigeria, where the median age, the age 70% of the population is below the age of 30 or 35 or something. Um, those of us in our 60s should begin to give way for the younger generation. And there are jobs that only people of my age and experience can do. But running a government department is probably not one of them.
Okay,
There
so
are many young people that I have worked with, I have mentored, that I know can do a better job because they can work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, while at my age I can't work those long hours anymore. So this was my point really. It's nothing else.
okay, I had a second question which I have not asked, but because of your response, I'm a curious person who likes to get more insights. So, from my little experience across the global politics, the average age of the average president globally, even the US, Nigeria, we are looking at people who are well above their 60s. So,
Yes.
if people who are in their 60s, their 70s are presidents of a whole country that has enormous problems, there are, some of them are even looking for a second term, even while in their 70s. It now begs the question that if performance declines at such age, why would people who are well over 70, even approaching 80, still wanting to be?
No. You are defining performance narrowly to equate performance with energy. I've told you
Mm-hmm.
that age means experience, wisdom, restraint.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very important at highest levels of leadership.
Okay.
Okay, but performance is not energy.
Mm.
It's not vigor,
Mm.
which is the area of strength of the younger generation.
Mm.
But what you need in any society is a sensible mix of the younger generation with their energy, their innovation, their capacity,
Mm.
with the wisdom and experience of the older generation.
Mm.
Now, you make reference to countries. Yes, many countries have people in their 70s as presidents. But if you look at some of those countries, these are old countries, I would say. A large percentage of the population is aging.
Mm.
It's not like Nigeria, that is a very young country.
Mm.
Okay, so you need to take that into account. I'm not suggesting that anyone above the age of 70 should not be president or run for president. No. But I think that when you have a president above the age of 60 or 70, you should ensure that the second tier of his staff, the ministers, the advisors, you should have a healthy mix of very young people. Not have most of them above the age of 60, just like him, because that will lead to groupthink. That will lead to a particular narrow-minded thinking of a different generation,
Yeah.
which may not augur well for the country. That's my point, really.
I totally understand the explanation better now, and thank you. So, the second part of the question I was going to ask you was, after your initial hesitation, it was now also on public record that you agreed to work for the president and you agreed to contribute your quota further. But there seemed to have been a lot of controversy in the public space as to El-Rufai interested in ministerial appointments. El-Rufai is no longer interested. So
No,
What?
I've already nominated a replacement. That is that is gone. We've passed beyond that. We've passed that stage. We've already agreed with President Tinubu, who is going to replace me from Kaduna. I've moved on and I'm getting on with my life because I didn't want to do it in the first place. So I got the opportunity to exit,
Okay.
and I have.
Okay. Okay, I think we'll leave it at that. We're almost landing, but in your response, you had said something about you mentoring people, uh, and in the non-fiction books that you read these days, mentorship is a big emphasis for people who want to aspire to the next level in life. So I would like to hear your perspective about mentorship.
No, I think you, if you want to hear my perspective on mentorship, then maybe you know very little about me. Go and check.
Okay.
That's what I do for a living. That's what I do for a living. And my mentees are all over the place. So I won't say anything. I'll just allow them to respond to you online when you post this video.
Okay, guys, so this is now me formally requesting in a video that, sir, can I be one of your mentees?
Sure.
Okay. I'm a privileged person because I didn't just have the opportunity of meeting him. I've interviewed him in an unscripted manner, and I have now also earned the title of a mentee.
It's not a title.
Okay.
It's a burden.
Okay.
Yes. It's not a title.
Yeah. So I think from what I've read often, it is the expectation of the mentee to drive the mentorship relationship with the mentor.
Yes.
Is that the style you have adopted over the years?
Absolutely.
Okay. So guys, it's a burden not just to him, but more for me to drive our relationship. And who knows? When I was talking to Obasanjo, he told me that he prays that I become greater than Obasanjo. I have that on record.
You will be greater than Obasanjo.
That's what everyone wants.
Okay,
You
so
always want the younger generation, people you mentor, to be greater than you.
yeah,
And
so
learn from your mistakes.
okay, so maybe this may be my foray into public service. I never know. Fingers crossed, and inshallah we'll find out how that goes. But this plane is just going to touch down in like 2-3 seconds, and I would like to say thank you very much for exhibiting high level humility, interacting with a stranger, and talking about very cogent matters unprepared. So obviously El-Rufai is not a fluke. So thank you very much, sir.
Until we see
You're
you
welcome.
again.
Anytime.
We know you have
Okay.
places to go.
So I
Take
think at this
extra
point I would
care
say
with
please
specific compartments
subscribe
as
to
luggage
this
may
channel,
have shifted.
and that is
Smoking
the
is strictly
motivation we need
until you've reached a
to meet
designated
different
smoking
people
area.
and
Need
hear their
assistance
stories.
with the aircraft,
And I'm sure
please
all of the
remain
things
in
you
your
have heard
seat and
from
wait for the rest of the passengers
Mallam
to
Nasir
leave. A
El-Rufai
member of the
would
cabin
make
crew
an
will then
impact
assist you.
one way or the other
Thank
in
you
your
for
life.
flying
So thank you
SAA,
very much for
and have a
watching, and I'll
safe,
see you
happy, and
with
successful
someone
day.
else in the near future. And bye, sir.
Bye.
Okay.